Happy Mummy Mondays. How you doing? We in this house have given up. Yes, we have given up on nighttime potty training. We have gone back to nighttime diapers. Nappies, nighttime nappies. I'm bilingual, you know that. Yeah, it's crazy. I need advice. Mummies out there, daddies out there, grandmas out there, grandparents. Just help. Help! How do you train an unconscious person to not piss the bed? How? They're fine in the day. How do you do it at nighttime? I know people say like dehydrate them in the evening. My mum's like, don't give them anything to drink after 4 p.m. I can't do that. I give them dinner at like 6. I know that's bad, isn't it? Is that too late? Is it too late? But they're hungry. No. I have to give them some water. And then if I don't give them water, then when they're brushing their teeth, they're like, they're sucking up the water because they're bloody thirsty. So yeah, no. Shaq, he's 2, he's almost 3. He's really doing well with it. Violet, she does well some nights. Some nights not. But I tell you what, I sleep with her, so I'm covered in piss. Yes, that's great. Yeah, She literally rolls over and pees on me sometimes. Yeah, it's cute. It's really cute. And we all have to wake up and jump in the shower and jump in the bath. And bloody, it's crazy. It's crazy town. I need help. I need advice. Can I even affect this? I don't think we can. I said to Cody the other day, I was like, babe, we can't do this anymore. Just put the nappies back on. And he was like, oh, I'm so glad you said that. Yeah. Can we affect this? Or should we just let them figure it out? Let their bladders figure it out on their own. Help. SOS. Happy Mummy Mondays. Bye. I can't wait to read the comments on this because I'm going to need it.
So today, the lovely Joss Stone has asked 3 really great questions about nighttime potty training, and I've already seen loads of parents jumping in and offering, really well intended advice, but not all of it is quite right. And so I thought I would come on as a children's nurse, a researcher, and a potty training expert to tell you that the science actually tells us a lot about the do's and don'ts of nighttime potty training. And I wanted to answer those questions coming from this perspective. Okay, so here goes. I got some notes. So when I look over, that's what I'm reading. Okay, so one you asked, should you dehydrate your child before bedtime? Okay, no. And I don't think you should dehydrate your child ever, except maybe if they have a heart problem. And that should be under medical supervision. So we're not looking to dehydrate anybody, okay? And this, you have to, though, ask yourself, right? And now, this is personal, but if I drank a pint of water before I went to bed, I would 100% have to get up in the night and pee, okay? So if your child is drinking a lot of water at bedtime, maybe because they're thirsty at that time of day, then the chances are they're going to need a pee in the night. So you might have to handle that a little bit differently. But if you can, the most important thing to do is to make sure that your child is drinking enough in the daytime. So I think you mentioned that your little one was 2 to 3 years old. Now, a child of that age should be drinking about 1 to 1.5 maximum litres of water a day. So water is the best drink. So the thing to do is to check that they are in fact drinking enough in the day. And if they are, and they're getting most of that in the morning and the afternoon, then it's absolutely okay to taper that down a bit towards bedtime. So we're not saying like no drinks. I mean, who wants to have a meal without a drink? That would be crazy. But they don't need to like make up for stuff that maybe they're missing in the daytime. So yes, you can just reduce the fluids a bit before bedtime, as long as overall they're getting enough water in the day, okay? And this is really going to help them because, like I say, if you had a big drink at bedtime, you probably would need a wee in the night. So that's just a really tiny thing, but it's really important to think about how they're getting their fluid and when they're drinking it. Okay, number 2, you asked, and this question I love, okay, you asked, can I affect this? Okay, I just think this question is so good because so many parents at night are wondering whether they can do anything to help with this. So I wanted to kind of say, okay, so if you were thinking about your child learning how to talk, do you think that you could influence that? Okay. Of course you would, right? So your child's going to hear you talking, they hear other people talking, and that's how they're going to learn the language, right? So that's how they're going to learn how to speak themselves. So yes, you're going to affect them. Also think about the environment that your child is in. That's also going to have an influence. So this isn't like an innate, like internal process that you can't do anything about, okay? Absolutely, you can do something about it, and you can teach potty skills. So just like how your kids have developed potty skills to do really well in the daytime, you know, you have taught them some of those skills. They've learned those things by what they've been exposed to and the way that you've responded to it. So teaching is happening all the time. And so let's just ask this question in another way. What are we teaching them at night? Okay, so most people are using a disposable nappy, which I totally understand. I use them myself when my kids were younger at nighttime. And they work really well in terms of keeping that child dry and comfortable overnight. And we're all told to prioritize sleep. You know, my kids woke up every night on the hour, every hour for years. So, you know, I'm not one to shy away from the importance of sleep. However, you know, those disposable nappies are instantly helping that child to feel dry as soon as that wee comes out. So they're not giving them a chance to learn that when you wee without a nappy on, you get wet, right? And this is the way that the body works, right? It has the signal. So the bladder and the brain communicate with each other. As the bladder fills, it stretches those muscles and it sends the signal to the brain to say you need to pee. Now, obviously, when you're awake in the daytime, it's easier for you to pick up on that signal. But I know how many times that I've woken up in the night because I need a pee, and it's because my bladder is sending me that signal. This is partly because that signal and that connection is really strong because I've learned to strengthen it in the day, okay? And you can also make sure that your child is getting woken up by that sensation as well. So you might notice perhaps they're getting a bit fidgety around that time before she rolls over and pees on you. Fun, happened to me as well, I understand. But you might start noticing some changes, or there might be, you know, in their sleeping, you know, maybe she's fidgeting or whatever. And let me just say as well that when you said, you know, how do you teach an unconscious person to pee? I get that as well. But sleeping isn't quite the same as being unconscious. And actually, if we look at the research, we know that even newborn babies, actually their brain lights up and responds to the sensation of a full bladder. And they will actually show brain arousal in those situations, meaning that their brain is picking up on this thing that's happening. So that, you know, children's brains do feel that. And this is when children are in quiet sleep. This is even can be seen in a newborn, like I say. So all children have that. But over the years, if we teach them that at night they've got their nappy on and they don't need to do anything, they can just kind of partially wake up. And, you know, they might not look awake, but that part of their brain is awake and responding and is allowing that pee to come out, you know, and we're teaching them that habit, that at night, that is how they respond. So likewise, we can teach them that at night, when they get that feeling, we can help them to use the potty, okay? So you absolutely can teach good habits. Things like a bedtime wee, really important as well. You know, that's a really good habit that you can help your child to get into. Doing a wee in the morning in the potty, having the potty near to you in the bedroom. If you're worried about putting your foot in it or knocking it over, just put some tissue or some washable flannel or something to soak that up. You know, there's loads of little practical things you can do to make sure that pottying at night is easier. And usually a child who needs a wee in the night, just like an adult who needed a wee in the night, will sleep so much better after they've done their wee, okay, because they're more comfortable and they're not constantly trying to you know, delay or, you know, put off this need to wee or just peeing all over you. Obviously, we don't want that to keep happening. The third thing, should you do nothing? I think that you probably know what my answer to this question is going to be, but I think the fact that you asked this question also shows that somewhere inside, you know, you want to help, you know, you want to do something, you know that something could be done, you just don't know what it is, okay? And, you know, this is the natural parent instinct. So reach out for help. What shall I do? Okay. And to want to do something. So yes, there's loads of stuff you can do. I've given you a few tips already, but things like knowing how to manage that accident when it happens at night. Also, just like basic stuff, like get really good mattress protection so that that accident doesn't become this great big upheaval in the middle of the night that just makes you want to put nappies back on. Okay, but even if you do go back to nappies, which I think you mentioned you've done, there are still things that you can do to help your child learn, so that when you decide to try again without nappies, that you're going to be much more likely to succeed. So I really hope you've watched this, and I really hope it's helped you, and I hope it's helped anybody else with the same questions. I'd love to have a chat with you, so if you want to do that, please get in touch. I'm here to help, and great on everyone as well for listening to these answers and considering what to do about this. It's such a common parenting thing. Anyway, thank you again for letting me answer this question, and I look forward to hearing from you. Okay, bye.